And
Well,
welcome, Shaumbra. Welcome, everybody from around the world. This is the May 2023 Shoud.
it's number 8 in the alt series, and I hope you're all ready for that. And by the way, as you maybe can guess, we're still here in Kona in this beautiful tropical environment, but here with all of you, no matter where you are, we're with you.
You know, that little glitch we just had here, that was my fault.
Oh,
Because I was sitting here thinking how I love that opening music. That's This Majestic Land by Michael Hoppy. It's my brother.
in your
Not,
dreams.
not. But we've been using that music for maybe 20 years for our opening. It's kind of like a Shaumbra anthem, a theme song.
It is.
And I never tire of it. And when the music was playing just now, before we came live, I was watching the visuals and listening to the music and feeling into Shaumbra gathering. And I was just kind of on a energy high, and I must have glitched out the system or something. Or maybe it was just my energy affecting the production desk, and they just, I don't know what it was, but anyway, it's good. I love that music. We want to welcome everybody here, of course, from all around the world. Whether you're watching live or whether you're watching later, it's still all the same. There is no time, so it's about the same.
It's all just energy.
It's all just energy. And so we especially want to welcome the new ones today. There's a lot of new ones coming into the Crimson Circle right now.
Quite amazing.
It really is. And, I can see it just in Facebook. Now, Facebook is a private group. You have to request to be admitted. You have to be accepted.
Well, they just did that to make sure that there was a clarity and a focus, which I think is appropriate.
Oh, yeah. And actually, our Facebook group is really pretty good.
Really good.
Ever since we made it private, and there's a few requirements. You can't just post memes. You have to put some words to it. There is so much wisdom in that Facebook page. And normally, I'm not real big on social media because of my age.
It's evolved.
It's evolved. The Crimson Circle Facebook page, it has really good energy. There's amazing stories. This last month, I was just fascinated with the stories from all the realm workers, sharing what they've gone through and how the whole concept of realm working has put the pieces of the puzzle together. So I'm loving it.
Well, and once again, last month, there was a lot in there that, really honored and acknowledged Shaumbra. Those that are the founders and all the new ones too. So this is a beautiful time on the planet.
So welcome, everybody. If you're new in this first hour, we just go through some of the updates and information, and we take a break, and we come back for Adamus. And I know he's geared up today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was all chatty early this morning, and I wasn't. I'm not chatty in the morning, and he was just wanting to chat it up, and I just,
Did he let you take that nap a little while ago?
not really.
Sorry.
No. So anyway, what we also do is we play a recap of what we did last month because we're Shaumbra. We forget. We don't remember what.
It goes so deep sometimes. It's so easy to miss out.
It is. And then on top of that, combined with, we've got Keyhawk in between, and we
Right.
just did a couple of workshops recently,
yeah.
and it all blurs together for one reason or the other. And we do this little recap of what we did during the last shout.
Okay.
So we're going to look at April, just about a month ago, see what we did. I'd like to have a special welcome to all of those who are new to the Crimson Circle. I am Adamus, and I open up by saying of sovereign domain. That means I'm an ascended master. When you are in your sovereign house, it means you're beholden to nobody or nothing. You are your own one. You are free. You are free to be all that you are, your past, your present, your future, your soul, your humanness. You're free to do all. The work that Saint Germain, that I do with Crimson Circle, is very specific. It's very much about going from awakening into realization and staying on the planet. This word that you hear, Shaumbra, it comes from an old term used thousands of years ago in the time of Christ, of Yeshua. They were absolutely dedicated to being here on the planet, to coming to their own realization, what some of you call enlightenment. They were dedicated to staying on the planet then, as embodied masters, to radiate their light, their consciousness onto the planet at this most critical and epic time. What was always known what would happen was this thing called the apocalypse, which means the unveiling, the moving the cover, the lid aside. It was difficult to try to say exactly when it was going to happen because it's really up to humanity. But suddenly, as we were watching and measuring and feeling into what was happening on the planet, we realized that the consciousness of the planet was changing very fast, changing drastically. We didn't know the exact date. And here Tobias flying through the door saying, it's actually happening. It was a revelation. It's going to happen now. And it was March 22nd. We were kind of stunned because this is something all of us have been waiting for. And suddenly it's here. Something all of you have been waiting for. And suddenly it's here. There is enough consciousness on the planet now, in humanity, to open up the realms, the apocalypse, to take aside the veil, to move that barrier aside and open up the accessibility of the divinity to the humans who are ready. So Linda's got the questions ready. Here we go.
Okay. You talk about letting go of those things not serving us. However, doing it with visualization or convincing myself that I'm letting go is no longer enough. It feels limited. What would be a more practical and updated approach to letting go?
To let go. What you don't want, is not yours anymore. What you're willing to let go, put it in on the altar of the soul. Put it in the bowl and let it go. And then it will be. Don't look back. You start acting like a master rather than a human trying to be a master. You master up. Even if it's an act, even if you think you're making it up, you start acting like a master and then you become one.
There seems to be a heaven's cross ripple effect with old issues coming back up, even though we put all of this in the soul's altar. How do we best deal with this?
It's not that you didn't release it. It's simply that it left a void and a little bit of in a strange way, of you missing some of those old things. You get so used to working. I know you're disagreeing, but you got used to working and with your issues and problems. And once you let them go, there's a little bit of empty space.
Since Heaven's Cross, I'm extremely quickly exhausted and physically hardly resilient. Is this something related to the light body?
For many of you, it's related to coming back now much more present after doing so much realm work. You're tired from that work. It's not physically tiring, but it's energetically tiring what you were doing, and particularly in the last couple of months, so busy with last minute work preparing for Heaven's Cross. So you come back here and it's actually you could say your angelic self that's very tired. For others of you who didn't do the realm working, it's just the whole changeover that's taking place. And you know how it is sometimes. When there's a big change, it can be very tiring. It's taking an effect on your body. Look at it this way. If there's anything that's happening, whether it's physical pain, doubt in the mind, anything else, these are all just indicators that something happened.
Since humans came from angelic beings and families, where in the process did the human lose their consciousness?
They didn't lose it. They came to Earth. The angelic beings, all of you, came to Earth, and it got very limited and compressed and condensed. It wasn't lost, but it was all in an effort to expand it, to bring it to new levels. By having this journey on the planet, gave you such incredible insights into the nature of reality, into consciousness, ultimately into the I exist. So it was never really lost, but it was put aside for a while. And now Heaven's Cross is opening that up, and you'll feel constant reminders about who you truly are. I want to talk for the moment about the Master. It's a term I use that master is the culmination of all your lifetimes, the wisdom of those lifetimes. That's what I call the master. It's rather humanized because the master comes from the human experience, turned into wisdom. It's not like an oversoul, but it's like, you could say, the best of the best of all of your human lifetimes. I'd like to have you really take this moment now to listen to the Master and what the Master has to say about Heaven's Cross, the apocalypse in you. It's not some archangel or anything else, but it's the finest of you as a human. Listen now. Listen as the Master talks to you about Heaven's Cross. You're listening to yourself here. You're listening to you. You've been taught and trained and programmed to listen outside. Or listening inside was too chaotic and too limited, but now you're listening to yourself through the Master. You're listening to yourself. And you start to sense into that oneness. No more separation, no more the Master being off someplace else, but as you walk, you're walking as the Master now. And when you listen, you're just listening to yourself as the Master. As you sense, you're sensing as the Master. Not just as the human trying to hear something or feel something from the Master, but now actually sensing as the Master. For many of you, this would have been hard to do a year ago, 6 months ago, but here we are at the very subtle levels of what's occurring with the apocalypse. The ability to be in awareness like this, without all the noise and the commotion and the words and the definitions and the judgments, just a single sense of awareness. This is what emerges from Heaven's Cross.
I hope you enjoyed that recap. That was such a beautiful channel, Jeff.
It was.
Really beautiful.
Yeah.
And it knocked out Belle, our dear buddy Belle.
Yeah. Belle is the Villa Amio dog, and she's at our feet right now. You can see feet, Belle. And she loves just hanging out right here up in the front, whether we're doing a workshop, a shout, she just loves the energy and she crashes. I mean, like right before we started today, she was running all over the place. And once we start, boom, she's out. So anyway, we're going to take a quick look at recent events here at Villa Amio. This past month of April, we had two events. The first one was the first ever Master Circle.
It was great.
Yeah, we had full house here.
We did.
Great group that came in. It's really nice now that traveling is opening up.
Right.
And I think even like in a couple of weeks, there's no longer the requirement to have vaccination if you come into the U.S. So
That's
it opens
official
the way.
May 11th is what I heard.
Yeah, and if you're thinking I have the wrong slide up here, it's not. This is on the island, here in the Big Island. This is on top of the island at about 14,000 feet.
And that's to Shaumbra, Nikolai, and Esseline that made that journey. And we warned them, be sure that, you're ready for winter because it's winter up there.
And, it's interesting because the air is so clear here and there's not a lot of light pollution.
Right.
So they have the observatories at the top of the mountain, which is great. And when we're not at the top of the mountain, we're right down here. This is a party at Villa Amio one night. We have Carl, the ukulele player, and everybody was dancing, and they actually started doing the limbo right in the living room.
It was crazy fun.
I had my phone ready with 911 just in case somebody started going under and their back gave out on them. But it's always a good time. And, of course, Belle enjoys the party and the people.
Absolutely.
So we have a great time when groups are in here. It's very intimate. You can see the great group.
People that make the journey here are truly here to dive in, and we can feel that. Adamus feels that,
Yeah.
and it truly shows in the material.
Well, we have intense gatherings.
Right.
This next series of photos is from Staying in Grace, the recent workshop. And again, pretty much a full house. In some of the evenings, we have a nice party outside, or it's raining, we go inside. But a lot of food and drink and a lot of laughter, because this is Shaumbra. Just shows how beautiful it is here at night at Villa Amio.
Truly beautiful.
It's always an invitation for everybody to be here and enjoy the workshop, enjoy the gathering with other Shaumbra. So great. Well, we're going to take a look at our upcoming events. We have quite a few things on the schedule. Linda,
We do.
take it
We're
away.
very excited about that.
Yeah.
So coming up next, we have Master Circle, and that's very short. That's going to start in about a week.
In about a week, yeah.
Almost exactly. And there are still a few places available. So since travels change, if you think you might want to be there, you'll go ahead.
Master
Still sign
Circle
up.
kind of is an open format. We're never sure what Adamus is going to do, but the first one we did was very, very, very intense.
Very.
Yeah.
And people loved it because it had everybody's flavor in it. And again, with groups this size, Adamus can go as deep and as far as the group is open to.
Yeah.
And then next.
Next, we have the Sexual Energy School. We'll be doing this from the Connection Center in Colorado. The dates are June 16th through the 18th. It's an online class. We do this twice a year, and it is the core Crimson Circle class. I mean, it really is all about how to manage your energy and how to. Go ahead.
It impacts relationships, but actually the relationship with yourself is the most important. So this is a very big school, and you've maybe heard this before for the new ones. We found out over the years, the attendees would complain to us because they could tell who had not taken SES. Literally, they could feel it
Absolutely.
and the way those people interacted. And they begged us, please make that a requirement for the live events. So in all the history of all we've done, that is the only event that we have ever required.
Yeah.
Only.
So, Sexual Energy School, it's with some original recordings from Tobias, some updates from Adamus. Linda and I are at the Connection Center all weekend live, so we talk in between the segments, but we feel it's very important to be there with everybody, to be there with the whole group while we play the videos in between. And it's always a great weekend. We can really feel the energies.
Well, there's some exercises that we live host. And again, we want you to feel us there because we are.
So let's take a quick look at the Sexual Energy School, actual true testimonial.
I waited more than 4 years before I felt the urge to take Crimson Circle's Sexual Energy School. I'd heard countless comments about it, and I believed that I already knew what it was about. Now I know. The experience of this class was a big bang for me, unfolding in slow motion. It's not only a workshop, it's really a step-by-step initiation, meaning a transformation in which the initiate is reborn into a new role. I had already buried the hope that I would ever understand what is wrong with my sex life, but SES gives a key: how to touch without neediness. It helped me realize that touching as a means to fulfill a need is a symptom of the sexual energy virus. In SES, I learned about touch without agenda, where the only motivation is being inspired by the beauty of who I really am and my wonderful physical body creation. I learned what self-love means in a practical way. SES brings self-love to a physical level because we are humans after all. Through this class, life must change if I follow Tobias's suggestion of regular time with myself. The energy flow in the body changes, and abused or ignored parts of the body come alive again. I'd like to lift the secret of this class a bit for others who are hesitating. It provides very practical and sensible coaching into a new life of self-love. It is so beautiful, this new art of caring for myself. Why did I wait so long?
Well, I hope you enjoyed that testimonial. You know that we're really excited. Jeff and I are there live hosting that throughout the event. And once again, if you sign up for the class, you get access to the videos and the reader for 90 days.
Yep.
It's this class has been translated into 21 languages. That's how much it's grown in the popularity of it.
I didn't know there were 21 languages.
And it's online June 16th through the 18th.
Yep.
So don't wait too long.
Yep. Look forward to seeing you there. Then coming after that this summer is the Threshold online. I love the Threshold. A short story behind it is Linda and I did this live around the world, I think maybe 15 times or so, different places. It's tough. It's all about encountering your inner dragon. And as Adamus says, it's the last thing you'll do before realization. Ultimately, it's really about going in and finding all the junk that's in there that's held in some type of disgrace or shame or guilt. It's very intense.
Well, sometimes we think we've put things away, but we haven't necessarily released them.
Right.
And this really invites you to take everything to that next level.
Let's take a short look at the recap for Threshold. I am that I am. Adamus of Saint Germain. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Threshold. It's the last thing that anyone will do before their realization. Everyone goes through it. They may call it by different names. Certainly all the experiences vary. All the stories are different, but it's the last thing one goes through before their realization. And here we are. It's interesting, what we call the threshold. It's very interesting because this is not being taught anywhere else on the planet, never has been. Every ascended master up to this point, 9,888, these ascended masters have gone through it on their own. There's no books about it, no courses about it. That's what I love about the threshold. It's the first time we're taking this sacred information, this holy information, and talking about it. Now, please understand, it's not a method. It's not a 10 steps to realization. It's a culmination of many, many lifetimes. A big part of the threshold is the dragon. The dragon. We have a dragon sitting right here, just as a constant reminder throughout this. But the real purpose of the dragon is clarity. Clarity. That's what actually dragon means. It brings everything to clarity. And the dragon also clears out everything within you that is held in guilt and shame and remorse. Because as every ascended master will tell you, you cannot go into realization with these issues. You cannot. You simply cannot. We're going to be talking a lot more about the dragon as we go in. It's a highly, highly energized symbol. You're going to find that dragon is going to be waking up. So why are you here? Because it's time, because you've chosen it, but because there's nothing else left. This is it.
So once again, the threshold will be offered July 7th through the 9th. Be sure and sign up for it if you're interested.
Good. Coming up after that is Kasama. It's August 11th through the 13th. It is also an online class. And, we do a lot of online classes these days. I love it because people from all around the world can connect in. And it's really a great way. COVID
Gives
kind
everyone
of
access.
forced us into it, but it's
did.
actually turned out to be perfect. Anyway, Kasama is really about the soul's destiny. And in Kasama, Adamus talks about the whole journey of the soul. And he says it's a comprehensive and beautiful explanation of the soul, its journey and its destiny. It bridges the gap between the human and the soul. I think it's perhaps the best definition of the soul I've ever heard. And I'm not just saying that because I channeled it, but it's really, really good.
It's the only real definition and understanding of how all this works and flows that I've ever heard. And it was really, there's a comfort to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Linda and I host it live online. We do a live question and answer session in this particular one. There are 9 sessions total, 11 language translations, and again, that is August 11th through the 13th. If you want to know your soul, check into Kasama. It's really quite an amazing class. So again, August 11th through the 13th for Kasama. Good.
Okay.
And then now coming, this is a favorite, coming September 9th and 10th, 2023, it is our annual Time of the Merlin. This year, it is called the Light of the Merlin.
And so appropriately.
Well, we've been doing these gatherings, the Merlin, we could call them Merlin gatherings, since, I forgot when it was, like 2015 or something. We started out in Romania, did about 3 of them there, then went over to Bled, Slovenia. When COVID hit, we had to do them online, which we're doing now. And I love it because, again, we can include so many people in it. We've some of the classic best channels that my favorites were done during the annual Merlin event. This is where I did Samuel Clements, Mark Twain, which I still think is probably my overall favorite.
And Sam.
And Sam and Tesla and a number of others. This year we know right now that we're going to have Merlin, Ambrosius, Adamus Saint Germain, the beloved Saint Germain, Cthulhu. This is Cthulhu's annual, they let him out of jail, let him in to do this stuff. And then we have 2 mystery guests. Linda was pressing me last night, well, who's it going to be? It's like, I don't know. And she's like, no, really, who's it going to be? It's like, I really don't know, Linda. They don't tell me until the absolute last minute. I didn't find out about Tesla till quite a bit before we actually did it. So we don't know. We'll wait and see what's going to happen. But I know this is one of my favorite events of the year.
They've been so fun to be a part of. And again, the information's great. And, this time of new light, this is a pretty big deal.
So, they're calling it Light of the Merlin.
Right.
So registration opens on May 30th. It is online only. And it's just an amazing annual gathering. So we have a new lineup of fall events we just
do.
announced the other day in the Shaumbra magazine. Let's take a look at what we have coming up for Kona, Hawaii for fall 2023.
Master Circle, October 22nd through the 26th. Believe it or not, the angels have been pretty much filling it up, but it's opening up now to everybody. So don't you snooze, you lose.
Yeah. So, and again, Master Circle means whatever happens in the moment with that particular group. Adamus doesn't give us an outline in advance, doesn't even tell me in advance until usually the morning of. But this last one we did was intense and wonderful.
Truly, truly. And then now, the next event is Exploring the New Light. Very brand new event. And as we know, Adamus has been building up to this. So this is quite exciting. And this is another one. This one is filling up very fast. So if you're interested, don't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited about exploring the new light.
I'm
It is
so
selling
excited.
out fast, so not too many spaces left. If you're interested, make sure to check out the registration right away. And then for our last regular workshop of the year,
Staying in grace.
absolutely, it's November 18th through the 22nd, right here at Villa Amio.
Right.
And this will be our third live Staying in Grace. The last two have been really, really good. It's very interactive with the
Oh, yes,
audience.
it is.
Adamus
Yes, it
is
is.
always talking to everybody, and we did a little. I think it was this last one. We did some role acting.
Yes, it was.
It was fun and funny. So anyway, that's our lineup for the fall. Different things coming up, and now it is time for Shaumbra news. All the news that's fit to print
And special.
and special. And as always, do check out the Shaumbra magazine. It's beautiful. I don't know how many years we've been doing it, but I say it's award winning because I'd give it an award for its beauty and its content.
Well, and now with it available to read on your mobile, anybody can read it anywhere.
Yeah, we changed the whole technology and the formatting last month. This is our second month into it. I think Mark Ritter did an amazing job
Truly.
with the improvements on it. It is looking really fine. I love the navigation. It is so intuitive, easy to get around. It's more kind of like a blog format, but yet it has great graphics and wonderful articles. This is where you can find all the news about what's going on with Shaumbra. We don't do a bunch of mailers. We don't do any mailers other than this one to Shaumbra in general. And this month also, at the request of Shaumbra, you can also download it as a PDF. We didn't have that available last month, but a lot of Shaumbra said, I like looking at it as a PDF. So, and it's free. It's free. All you have to do is sign up for the newsletter, and you'll get it delivered right to your desktop.
Only once a month. We don't send out lots of stuff, just once a month.
Once a month. I think it's about 60 pages. I mean, so
Is it up to that now?
Yeah, it's about 55, 60 pages. So it's, I know because every month it takes a little bit of work to get that thing out.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Anyway, also,
Oh, very exciting. We're getting ready for Keyhawk 13. And of all the things we do, it's definitely my favorite. You know, Adamus does this incredible job sharing with the Keyhawk group. This program goes for a year, 2 channels per month approximately.
Yeah.
And you just feel yourself moving through life. Like things will be crazy, and then you get to stop and listen to the current Keyhawk, and it's like,
well, one thing people talk about with Keyhawk is there's continuity. It lasts a year, goes from July through the following June. We do 2 sessions a month, as you said.
Right.
And people love it because it's kind of an ongoing program. You come to a workshop and it's great, but after 4 days, that's
You're
it.
done.
So this is something that's ongoing. And here's where Adamus really delves into the deeper subjects. I always say he's testing it out on the Keyhawkers.
He does.
He does. And then it comes up in the shouts, but not in
Not the same.
depth. I mean, the depth in Keyhawk is really what's guided Crimson Circle for the past 12 years, I believe.
truly.
The program begins in July. You can register now for the start, and we do have payment plans available. So let's take a quick look at what Adamus has to say about Keyhawk. I am that I am. Adamus of Saint Germain. We've entered into the apocalypse, and quite gracefully, I might add. And now comes the time of the new light for Shaumbra. The new light will be the basis of our explorations in Keyhawk 13. We'll explore the metaphysics of the new light, how to use it in your everyday life, and the ultimate effect on mass consciousness. In Keyhawk 13, we'll also explore how the new light affects everything from time, space, gravity, and energy flow. Plus, we'll continue to discuss how to live in joy as embodied masters in this post-apocalyptic era. None of this has ever been done before by a group of humans, so the word exploring is the key to our Keyhawk sessions. Keyhawk has been about spirit and consciousness in motion, as well as experience. Now we'll add the variable of the new light. Keyhawk is the classroom for exploring advanced metaphysics and how it applies to your everyday life. Join me, the Ascended Masters, and thousands of Shaumbra around the world as we open the doors of Keyhawk 13 on July 2nd, 2023. It is the place to be for consciousness explorers.
If you're interested, remember, sign up is due by June 15th.
And I know Adamus loves Keyhawk. He's the one
He
that
says it.
Said it was. It's the bold metaphysics for the planet. This is where he goes out beyond anything I've ever heard, and really explores the very things that you just saw before. But I love it because for me as a channeler, it's new information that's coming through, and I have to really be tuned in, channeling it because it is new, and I'm not a physicist
He's redefining.
by any means, so I have to really pay attention and stay on top of it. But I love that because it's so different and so new, and just out there. And you don't have to have participated in the previous Keyhawks. You can just pick it up, Keyhawk 13, and run with it. It's intense. He sometimes pisses people off. He sometimes makes them laugh, but not so often in Keyhawk.
He's pushing forward as fast as we can feel it.
And there's sometimes I know when I'm channeling, I'm like, hang on a second, I'm not getting this right because I just can't wrap my head around it. But later on I can. So anyway, check it out, Keyhawk. You're 13 we're already in. Wow. Okay, and I know so many of you have heard about or been talking about the Realm Workers. We have a new product that's out called the Realm Workers Call to Return. It has been the hottest topic I have seen with Shaumbra in as long as I can remember. I really wasn't expecting this. There's a very beautiful message with Adamus. He calls the Realm Workers back to Earth after doing their work on the other side. Talks about really what they were doing and why not much could be said about it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Let's take a short look at it. These are some of the quotes.
Beautiful.
Pretty touching. Those were actual comments from people that had watched or listened to the Realm Workers. It's a two-part thing. First, there's discussion with Adamus about Realm Workers, what they did, what their role was, and a very good question: why didn't people know about it beforehand? And then a very beautiful and deep marab. I know so many Shaumbra really relate and identify with being realm workers. At the recent workshops, we talked, and I would say about 75 to 80%
It was amazing.
identified with that. And so it's just, to me, the reaction to it has been so beautiful, helping people to understand what's been going on for so much of their life. And there was a little bit of concern that I had, and I think you voiced also at first, that people would use it as an excuse and say, well, yeah, that I was a realm worker, that's why my life was crap. But we haven't seen that.
Not at all.
It's more like, oh, I was a realm worker, and that helps to make sense of all the things that have been going on in my life.
What you were doing and why you were doing it.
Yeah. So the reaction has been beautiful. As Adamus said very clearly several times, Linda and I are not one. Realm workers, because we're too busy here doing all this stuff. But I think
Didn't he take the blame for that?
Yeah, he keeps us relatively busy. But the whole topic of realm workers was just incredible.
Absolutely.
Realm workers is part of the complete Heaven Cross series. There's about 6 products that are part of this, starting from the very beginning before Heaven's Cross, talking about what it is, Heaven's Cross Q&A, the actual Heaven's Cross that occurred on March 22nd, Heaven's Cross afterwards, the Marab, and then finally the Realm Workers. So it's a amazing complete set.
Truly.
So now let's talk about Spotlight. Every month we spotlight one of the products. We realized at some point we had so many things in the library, and we'd bring out something that was particularly relevant right now and give a discount. So this month's Spotlight is the Magic of the Merlin. I'm sorry, Magic of the Masters. This is part of the Merlin conference. It took place in Bled, Slovenia, with about 500 people. Remember that?
It's wonderful.
It was packed. It was October 2018.
Wasn't that one of our last big live events?
It was the last
That's
big
what I
live
thought.
event before COVID. And there was a focus on this one in releasing mass consciousness, which is particularly important right now to everybody. So we brought this product back. There's 4 sessions. There's Adamus, Cthulhu, Sam, and Saint Germain. 12 language translations. You have 90 days viewing access. It's audio only, not video, but it's really worth it. I mean, it's
Good material.
So much good material. We're going to take a little bit of a listen in right now. I am that I am. The beloved Saint Germain. I'd like to take you on a dream walk with a little bit of music. We've talked about the Atlantean dream. We dreamt a dream that one day we would walk upon the planet as divine human beings, as masters and as humans. We dreamed that when the time was right, we'd bring heaven and earth together. Here you are with your Atlantean aspect, who has held the hope and the dream of realization. It's time to say to them, come with me. You've arrived. We're here. I am that I am, a sovereign, ascended master. I am Sam. Sam is not my real name. It is an acronym for Sovereign Ascended Master. I come from the same oversoul as Tobias. It wanted to experience life in a way that dear Tobias never could have experienced. I came here to tell a bit of a story I'd like to share with you now. Perhaps it'll inspire the beauty in your life. When I was just about 12 years old, my parents got me a dog. Right away, Rafa and I, we connected, we communicated. He told me all sorts of things, but we didn't use words. It was all without words. To me, communing, hearing the energies as they sing in service to you, this is the new breath. To feel and to hear, to sense the song of energy. It's not life if you're not doing it. Namaste, dear Shaumbra, namaste. Dear Shaumbra, you've come so very far, and it's not even like there's any further to go. Now it's just the unfolding. It's not about what you believe, because your eyes and your mind, they can deceive you, but it's about what you allow, because your heart can never deceive you. Your mind can distort the words that come from the soul. The mind can make those words into something that might be harsh, judgmental. But what you allow is always true. I am that I am, Adamus of Saint Germain. So now it's time for releasing ourselves from mass consciousness. You can set yourself free, which is exactly what we're doing here now. We're not going to fight our way out of the cloud, and we're not going to think our way out of the cloud. No, no, no. You see, the moment you try to think your way out of the cloud, it holds you in even tighter. But you can allow yourself out. It's kind of like magic. Kind of like what Sam talked about yesterday, the return of magic.
I think you can imagine that was a pretty special event with really great channels, as always.
Listening to that again makes me really miss those amazing gatherings. 500 people, we pretty much took over the town. It was so much fun in every way. And by the way, it was also Johann, Anat, and Gerhard providing the live music. And I just, all that before COVID, but I do miss it. Anyway, so we're going to be taking a break in just a moment here, but before we do, we have a pop quiz.
Oh, right.
I mean, the little quiz that we threw up at the last minute. And pay careful attention to this. There's little clues all along the way. What do the following people have in common? Here we go.
Okay, let's see.
All right. Here's number one.
Ooh.
Number two. Kind of interesting.
Kind of.
Weird. Number three. Number four. And number five. Looks like my mother when she was mad. And finally, number six. What do these people have in common? What do you think?
It hurts. I don't know.
Okay, well, here's the answer. Ready? Do we have a drum roll? All right, here we go. They haven't watched Rude Awakening.
Oh, I should have known.
So Rude Awakening is free. You can go to Rude Awakening Film and watch the entire film for free. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's the story of Shaumbra. And by the way, the other thing that all those people had in common, they were all wearing eyewear.
Yes.
Glasses or eyewear of some sort. So
Yes.
those of you who got that, you're awake, you're doing good. But the real answer is they haven't watched Rude Awakening, but you can now if you want to. Rude Awakening is free of charge. It's about a 2-hour movie. It's a beautiful storyline about somebody that's going into realization, and then a lot of great interviews with Shaumbra and others around the world. It's a beautiful thing. You can watch it online. It's free. There's nothing. Nobody's going to come knocking at your door. Nobody's going to ride up on a bicycle and knock at your door trying to get you to sign up for anything. It's absolutely free.
It's a great production. Share it. You're free to share it even.
Yes, absolutely. So we want to thank Jonathan and Sandra and the Rude Awakening crew for making it available across the world. And yeah, like Linda said, share it. Send the link to others. The whole idea is to get the light out. So also speaking of the Rude team, they now have a podcast. It's called the Rude Awakening Podcast. I actually haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but I tuned in the other day. It's very, very interesting. It's lively. It features a lot of different guests. So check it out, the Rude Awakening Podcast. So thank you all for lighting up. As the slide says, thank you for lighting up. And we appreciate the work everybody's doing around the world to bring the light to this planet at a time when it really needs it, when it's ready for it. It's probably even a better way of saying it. The planet is ready for it, and that's what we're doing here. Thank you for lighting up. We're going to be taking a short break and coming back for Adamus St. Germain in just a moment, but once again, thank you everybody for being here. Time now for our coffee break.
Thank you, everyone.